Is the Excel handout number 2 pricing model packet. First thing we do is open our Excel handout number 1 file that we ended up with from the first packet. I have mine open on my screen. They want us to compare, go to File, Print, and look at a print preview, and just make sure that your screen looks like what's on the paper, page 1. Hit Escape to get out of Print Preview. They want us to be sure that we have formulas entered in H7 and J7. Click on Formulas, Show Formulas. You have to scroll over because it spreads it out when you show formulas. Make sure you've got a formula in H7 and J7. It matches what's on the screen. Click on Show Formulas again to get back to our normal view. And we are on page 2. They would like us to name the worksheets. It gives us a column with the sheet number and then the name to type. I'm going to double click on sheet 2 and type brick. Double click on CMU and type, double click on sheet 3 and type CMU. Sheet 4 should be stucco. Sheet 5 is EFIS. Sheet 6 is cast stone. Make sure you click out of cast stone after you type it so you can do more things. We want to delete sheet 7, 8, 9. To delete a sheet, you want to right click on your sheet from your drop down menu or shortcut menu, click delete. Repeat and do the same for 8 and 9. We've deleted our sheets. We want to go to the stone worksheet. Everything on the stone worksheet we want to copy to all of the other worksheets. So before we can copy all of this information, including the formatting. Formatting means the bold. We have all these titles bolded. This gray background fill that we put in is formatting. We made it 14 font size and we changed it to Arial. That's all formatting. To select everything on this worksheet, you want to click on this triangle between the A column heading and the 1 row heading. That selects your entire sheet. To copy, we want to go to Home and click the copy icon. Notice the marquee that has been put around our worksheet. Everything within that marquee will copy. We want to copy across multiple worksheets, so we must select the multiple worksheets. To select multiple worksheets, you want to hold down your control button on your keyboard, lower left, leave it held down, and click once on each of the worksheets. You can let go of your control button when you're done. Notice all the worksheets are white in color. That means they are selected. Now we want to fill across the worksheets what we have on the stone sheet. So we want to click up here on the Fill button in the Home tab, Editing Group, Fill across worksheets. We want both the formatting and the content, so we leave it at all and we click OK. And we can go cheat and go look at our worksheets and see that it has everything the same, and it does. So next, they would like us to, we're going to enter some text. So we're actually clear on page 4 already. It tells us what we've copied everything to the other worksheets, but some of the titles must be changed for each individual worksheet. So we're going to go to the brick worksheet, and then it tells us to go to A9, and we're going to type over what the text that's there. MISC brick from courtyards. And then we're going to go to CMU, A9, and type exterior veneer 15-foot height from ground. And we go to stucco and go to A9 and type upper eyebrows / EPS. We want to go to A12 on the same sheet and type DAFS at garage CIP / CMU - 3 inches EPS with mesh base and finish. Next is the cast stone worksheet. We want to click on A6. We're typing over building material, exterior veneer 9, we're typing over that. Courtyards. The CMU worksheet, go to it, and we want to delete. CMU only needs building material, exterior veneer, and rental, so we do not need the retaining wall material. And we also do not need this gray fill-in, so we want to select the range A12 through J12, and we want to go to the Home tab, Editing Group, click Clear, and clear all. Click your mouse somewhere else, and you should see that the entire row is gone, and the text is gone. It wants us to save. Page 4 tells us save a lot, and we do want to save so we don't lose our material that we've done. Up here in the quick access toolbar, you can just click save, and it'll save everything that we've done so far. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to make sure that our worksheets are all grouped. Everything that we do from here on in should happen to all worksheets at the same time. In order to group all of our worksheets, tells you how to do that on page 4. I'm going to right click, and you can right click on any one of the tabs, but I'm going to right click on Caststone and choose select all sheets. Notice at the top it says group. I know they are grouped. Anything I do to one worksheet will happen to the other worksheets. First thing that we're going to do is insert some rows. We need more rows in between supervision and rental. So we need 4 rows, but I don't want to insert 1 row at a time. So I'm going to show you a shortcut. If we select 4 rows, drag from 18 to 21, right on top of the numbers, hold down your left button and drag it. Now right click on any one of those green numbers and choose Insert. It has given us 4 rows up above. So however many rows you select when you choose Insert, that's how many you'll get above. So we have done that, and then it tells us to make sure that rows 16 through 21 are blank, and they are. So we're looking good. It tells us not to go clicking on another tab, because if you go click on another worksheet tab, your grouping will undo automatically, and we want it to be grouped. So make sure you're grouped. And we're going to page 6. We are going to start entering text that we want on all worksheets. So we want to start in I-18, and I'm on the cast stone, even though everything we do is going to enter on all of the worksheets. So I'm going over to 18, clicking in I-18. I'm looking at a list on page 6, and I'm typing rental, and then labor, and then material, and then M and L and R total. I don't want anything in 22 or 23 in the I column, so I want to go to I-24 and type management. Oops. Moving along, we're going over to H and down to 30. And we want to type subtotal, tax, subtotal with a colon, whoops, with a colon, overhead, GM / total with a colon, contingency, bid, per square foot, and per block. So you just keep typing. They should follow one another. The next part wants us to auto-fit our columns. Notice the spillover. All this text is spilling over the H. To auto-fit column H, you want to double-click on the line between the H and I. And then the same thing for I. We want to make all of this text fit in the I column. So we're going to double-click on the I, on the line between the I and the J, and make that column fit. Next, we have some bolding. We don't want all of this text that we just entered bolded. We don't want the I through I-18 through I-24 bolded, or the H-30 through H-31. Yours may not have bolded, but mine did. So I thought I'd show you how to select multiple ranges. I'm going to select I-18 through I-24, hold down my control button on my keyboard, leave it held down, and select H30 through H31. and then I click on the B again to make it unbold. So now I'm looking at all my text I just entered. Let's do a print preview. And you can tell those aren't bolded. These aren't bolded, but the rest are. So that got us to page 7. And page 7 talks about entering functions. I'm going to hit escape to get out of my print preview. And over here in J, we're going to start in J18. Functions are built-in formulas that Excel give you. There's tons of functions in here, but we are going to use the sum function today. When you click on a function, the computer automatically gives you your equal sign, which indicates a formula. Then it will tell you what you're doing. For instance, adding, we would do sum, and it would say SUM. If we're averaging, we could do an AVG. If we want the highest number, we could do max or the lowest min. And that kind of explains that on page 7. So in J18 for rental, we want to click on the auto sum button. Notice it gave us the equal sign. It's telling the computer to sum. It's got parentheses there, and our cursor's blinking, waiting for it to tell. It's waiting for us to tell it, what do you want to sum? So I want to sum anything that's up above rental, or over here in H. H16 through H17 is where we will have rental entries. So I want to drag with my left button and select it. When you're selecting, make sure you've got a white plus sign when you're dragging down. Then you hit enter. Enter will reveal the solution. It should be 0 because we have no rental data entered. We are in the labor, J19. Labor, we are going to do the auto sum. And the labor is everything from J7, notice total labor costs, clear down through J17. So our labor is J7 through J17. That includes the rental and the labor costs the whole way up there. So I'm going to hit enter, and you should see 70,000 because the only thing that we entered was some sample data up here, which gave us the 70,000. Material, we're going to click on the auto sum. Material, we want to sum everything over here where it says total material costs from H7. Now we want to stop before we get to rental because we do not want to include rental data. So it's only H7 through H14. Hit enter and you should get 50,000 because that is the only thing that we have entered up here in our sample data. The M, L, and R total is the total of these three up above it: rental, labor, and material. So we're going to click auto sum, and we want to select these three items, and you want to hit enter, and you're going to get an odd number. And why is that number odd? Because our column is not wide enough to see it correctly. So some of you may see this, some of you may not, but if you do, you want to go up here and double click between the J and K, and you should now see the 120. So we did an auto fit to our J column. And that's page 10. We are moving along into, actually we're already on page 11. And we are moving down here to management. Well, we do need to do J22. J22 is your supervision. Your supervision is this formula. We're going to do a formula. So we're going to enter equals, click on J21 times, and then I22. And that's where we will put a percentage. And the percentages are different on each worksheet. So we don't have a percentage there, but if you hit enter, you're going to get 0, and we'll put the percentages later. For the WHS management fee, same thing. The percentages change for each worksheet, but we can enter a formula here. So we're going to type equals, and we're taking the total ML and R times that percentage, whatever we put there later, and we hit enter, and you should get 0. Now, the management would be the total of those two items that we just figured out. So we're going to do the auto sum, and it's already gives it, hey, it figured it out on its own. It's saying, that marquee saying, hey, do you want to sum J22 and J23? And I hit enter. That means yes, I do. So we have gone quite ahead. I did page 12, and I'm on page 13, and management, that's on page 14. So the next section tells us all about these items down here. It tells us what gives us the subtotal. The subtotal equals the M and L and R total plus the management. So it would be this total plus this total. The tax is rental total and material cost total times a tax percentage rate. So eventually we would enter a percentage rate. We're just going to enter the formula today. The subtotal is the subtotal plus the tax. So I'm going to let you look at page 14. It tells you exactly what each one of these headings represents for the formula. Page 15 tells you we're just going to enter the formulas. Instead of entering them clicking on cell addresses, we're going to enter them typing them. So I wanted you to see that you can do that. So we want to go to J30, and we're going to type equals J21 plus sign, whoops, I'm sorry, shift with the equals, J24, enter. You should see 120,000. The next one, we're going to type equals. Now we're going to put something in parentheses because the tax gets multiplied times, the tax rate is multiplied times the total of the rental and the material. You don't pay it on the labor. So we're going to do equals J18 plus J20, close your parentheses, then you do times, that's the asterisk. I use my number keypad over here on the right of the keyboard. The asterisk is right above the 9. And then we would do we're typing, sorry, I-31, I'm used to clicking. And there's nothing there, so it's going to give us a 0 until we put that tax rate. Again, the rates are different for each sheet, so I've left, we'll enter that when we enter data. The next subtotal, or J32, we want to enter equals J30 plus I33. Overhead, we want to type equals J32 times I33. And let's see if I've done this right. J30 plus I33. J32 plus J33. I think I made a mistake, so I'm going to check. 32, we should have J30 plus J31, and I think that's where I made my mistake. So J32 should be equals J30 plus J31. J33 should be J32 times I33. And I'm looking up here in my formula to check myself, and that's correct. Now I'm moving to J34, and I want to type equals J32 plus J33. I'm moving to contingency, which is J35. I want to type equals J34 times I35, and that is your contingency rate isn't entered, so of course it's going to be 0. Same thing with the overhead. There's a different percentage for each worksheet. Our bid is J36, and it should be equals J34 plus J35. And that is the total of the subtotal. J34, or I'm sorry, the GM total and the contingency total is your bid total. Your per square foot, we're going to type equals J36, and divided by I3, and we'll enter something up there later. Notice that I call it the Devo error. When you do divide and you don't have a number there, this is what it gives you instead of a 0. And notice up here we have nothing in I3 yet. We'll do that when we get together for our session. So basically, we wanted to get you to enter the numbers, look at the solutions, compare your screen here. This shows you what it should look like. Let me compare mine and make sure I didn't make any mistakes. You should have 120 all through, and then the diva. This should be 70, 50, and then 120 and 0. So we're looking good there. Click on Formulas and Show Formulas and scroll over, and you can check your formulas against the paper. Typically, if the answers look the same on the page, then the formulas are correct. I'm going to click that again. So it'll go back to my normal view. And we're ready to save this document. We're going to do File, Save As, go to where you store your documents. I happen to have an Excel folder that I'm saving all this into. And you navigate to your folder. I'm navigating to mine. And we want to call this Excel Handout number 2 dash pricing model. So I'm going to replace that because I've done this a couple times. And that's it. Thank you very much.